Hi everybody, and welcome to the Flipping Right Show. My name is Nick Sifoni. I'm your host, hosted by realestateinvestoronline.com. Today I want to talk about setting goals. You know, effective goals are like the key to being successful in the real estate business. Without goals, it's like you're that hamster on the wheel. You're a ship without a rudder. I mean, let's face it, if you're planning a long car trip, you wouldn't take off without either bringing a GPS with you or plotting your trip on a map or something. So if you don't know where you're going, I guess the bottom line is that if you don't know where you're going, how are you going to get there? So once you know where you're going, where you're going to go, you got to have a plan, and that's what we're going to talk about today. You know, I went through elementary school, high school, college, well, some college, but they never really taught me how to set goals. That's something that, you know, they said you should have goals in your life, but they never really taught me how to set goals. And I'm going to teach you what has worked for me in the past. Now, there's two aspects of your life. There's probably more. I mean, but really there's personal goals and there's business goals. And that's what we're going to talk about mostly today. And we're obviously going to lean more towards the business side. But you should have goals, I mean, to be happy, to live a truly full life, in my opinion. You should have lots of money. You should have a wonderful relationship with God. You should have a great family life, and you should be healthy. And I know you're looking at me and looking at the chubby cheeks and the belly. I'm working on the healthy part, okay? None of us are perfect. But, oh, Happy New Year, by the way. Let me ring the bell. That's why we're doing this call today. It's January 1st, and I'm wishing you a Happy New Year, wishing your family a Happy New Year. And this video is made to get you off on the right start. So, business goals. You can break it up and set the goals however you want. Just having goals is important. And you know, they've done studies. Well, I'll get to that in a minute. But just having goals is what's important. And only you could tell yourself how to set the goals. Me and my business, I set the goals two different ways, my business goals. Income, in other words, how much money I want coming in on a weekly and then monthly and then yearly basis, and how many deals I want to do. Because I look at the results two different ways. I look at how many deals, and I look at the average dollars per deal, and those are the things we work with. So in my business, that's how I set my goals. How many deals I want and how much money I want to make on a weekly, monthly business. I mean, you can vary that however you like. Personal goals can be relationship goals, family goals. Maybe you want to spend some more time with your kids. Maybe you want to lose some weight, whatever it might be. So there's personal and there's family goals. Now, really, to make a goal effective, it really needs to be written down. And they did a study, and I don't know the exact numbers, but I know I'm close. They did a study at the Harvard School of Business long time ago. They started this study. And they had three groups. A group that had no real goals, a group that had goals, and a group that had goals but wrote those goals down. And again, I don't remember the specific numbers, but the group that had goals did like they were making 2 or 3 times more money per year than the group that didn't have any specific goals. But the group that had goals and wrote those goals down, just took a few minutes and put them on paper, they were making like 10 or 15 times more money than the group that didn't have any goals. So it's critically important to write your goals down. I've even heard stories about people that wrote down a 5-year plan or wrote down goals they wanted to achieve, stuck it in a drawer somewhere and never looked at it again. And 5 years later, pulled out that piece of paper and were shocked to hear that they hit every goal on the list. So write those goals down. Subconsciously, it just makes a big difference. And statistically, you're much more likely to hit your goals if you write it down. So go to Google. Google goal setting sheet or goal setting template or something like that. Or just go to Microsoft Word and make your own little form. And I suggest you write it, fill it in by pen, instead of just filling it in on the internet. There's something about actually writing goals down that ingrains it in your subconscious. So your goals have to be written. Now there's a difference between dreams and goals. And that's really what the difference is by writing it down. If you just have dreams, yeah, someday I want to do this, someday I want to do that, it's not really a goal, it's a dream. And that's why the next step is you need to make sure that your goals are very, very specific. You don't just want to say, I want to be rich. How rich? When? And we'll talk about deadlines in a bit. You don't just want to say, I want to get a new car this year. What kind of car do you want to get? Go look at the cars now. Put in your mind that that car is happening. Put in your subconscious that that car is happening. So instead of having a goal to get a new car this year, have a goal that I want to get a 2011 white Dodge Charger with a sunroof and the 16 speaker system or whatever it is. Make sure that it is very specific. Don't just say, I want to make a lot of money this year. Or I want to do a lot of deals this year. Make your goal, I want to do 2 deals a month this year. My goals, and I'm going to tell you what my goals are now, and then I'm going to tell you later why I'm telling you, if that makes any sense. But my goals for the first 6 months of the year are to average $20,000 a week coming into my business. Now that's not going to be pure profit because I have expenses of people that work for me, stuff like that. But my goal is to bring $20,000 a week into my business the first 6 months of the year. In the second 6 months of the year, I want to average $5,000 a day in my business. And that's very, very specific in what I have written down. And I'll tell you later why it's important to tell people and why I'm explaining this to you. So make sure your goals are written down. Then make sure that the goals are very specific and you know exactly what you want. The goals have to be measurable. You have to be able to measure exactly where you are in conjunction to your goals. So as you're tracking yourself, as you're going through the year, you can see exactly where you are. Okay, I'm 10% short. I'm 20% short. I have to do 1 more deal a month than I've done the last 3 months, whatever it might be. And another thing about goals that's very important is your goals need to be believable. You know, it's one thing to say, I want to do 10 deals a month. But if you're a brand new investor and you did 2 deals last year, saying you're going to do 10 deals a month, it might sound cool January 1st, right? But come the end of January, if you've only done 2 deals, you're already so far behind, you're not going to believe that you could ever hit those goals. So 2 things. The goals need to be absolutely believable, and they have to be not so easy that there's no challenge either. So they have to be a challenge to you. So you have to work hard to hit them, plus something that you believe. Obviously, if you make them too easy, you're going to hit the goals too easily without working, and you're not stretching yourself. You're not going to grow. You're never going to see your potential. But if they're too hard, you're going to lose faith that you could hit them, and it's just going to take the wind out of your sails. So make sure that they're believable, they're going to take a stretch, and that you know it's something you can do if you put the work in and if you grow. They also need to have a deadline. And however you set them up, set your goals per month or per quarter. Per year, I think, is too long. Goals need to be written down and have a specific timeline. Here's when I plan to achieve this by. Because if you just want to say, someday I want to get a new car, it's not specific enough and there's no deadline. I want to get that new white Dodge Charger with the 16-speaker system and a sunroof and the rear spoiler, and I want to have that car by June 30th or whatever it might be. So make sure that there's a deadline. So your goals need to be written down. They need to be very specific. They need to be measurable. They need to be believable. They need to make you stretch to hit them. You should always be growing every month, every year. Your goals should be getting a little bit bigger, a little bit bigger, a little bit bigger. And you have to have a deadline that you plan to hit those goals by. And that's really, really, really important. And be honest with yourself. Reassess yourself as you go. You know, like I set my goals by the month. But every 3 months, I go and I see exactly where I am. So at the end of 3 months, if I've overcome my goals, I plan my goals out for a year, but I break it down into monthly chunks, and then I plan my goals for a year, and I break it down into monthly chunks. But every 3 months, I reassess the last quarter. So if after the first 3 months I'm way ahead, I'm going to adjust the last 9 months of the year to do even more than I planned. If I'm way behind, and I'm starting to lose faith that I can hit those goals, I'm going to readjust those goals down. I hope I explained that well enough so you know what I mean. Another thing that I think is really important is tell people what your goals are. And I said before, I'll explain to you why I told you earlier what my goals for this year are. It's very important to tell people what your goals are. It's just like writing them down. It's going to make you, it's going to put them into your subconscious a little bit firmer to give you more chances, you're more statistically likely to hit your goals if you've told other people about it. And it's, you know, you're going to lose faith. Lose face. If I tell my wife, honey, here's what I'm doing this year, and I don't get anywhere near it, I'm a little embarrassed. So I feel it's important to tell people what you plan to do. It's just then those other people will hold you to it. Even if they may never say anything to you again, even if they may not care, you know that, hey, I told the world I'm doing this, so I'm going to plan to do it. Get in a mastermind group if you can. Or if you can join a real estate mastermind group, tell them all what your goals are. And then they'll hold you to it, because that's what mastermind groups do for each other. A good example of this, the first year I got in real estate, there was a group here in Chicago. Every summer they do a 3-day event. I forget what the name of the event was, but the first year I got in, I went and I sat in the audience at this real estate event. And I set my goal to speak, to be a speaker at the event the next year. And not only did I set my goal to be a speaker at the event the next year, I went on to the company that puts this event on. I went on to their website and I posted, I am speaking at your event next year. And it was actually on the forums, on the message boards, like we have on our forums and message boards. And every time I posted anything on the message board, under my name, I'd put Nick, and under my name, I'd put speaker next year's convention. And darn it if I didn't speak at that next year's convention. So, and then what you want to do, once you have all this in process, all this going on, you want to do something to remind yourself of your goals. So, you know, like I said before, there's people that write their goals down. I mean, even if you do nothing else, if you just write your goals down and stick them in a drawer, you are more likely to hit them. But you're going to be much more likely to hit them. Even so, if you were keep it out somewhere, you know, go back once a month and look at your goals. Do something that reminds you of your goals. Like people that teach weight loss, teach that, you know, put something on the refrigerator door that reminds you of your diet. So every time you go to that refrigerator, right before you open that door, you see that little widget or whatever it is, and it reminds you of your diet, and maybe you'll walk past the refrigerator or whatever it is. So do something to remind you of your goals. There's a goal board. I ran a sales company years ago, like a lot of you know, and we had a goal board in my office, and my people were all paid on commission, so the better they did, the more money they made. And I always encouraged them to bring in pictures of what they wanted. If they wanted to take their wife on a vacation, if they wanted a new car, if they wanted to save money, if they wanted to buy a new suit, whatever it was. If one of the girls who worked for me wanted to buy a bracelet or something, I'd say bring in a picture of it and hang it on our goal board. So every day when you're sitting at your desk, you'll see that picture. And you can't see it from here, but I have goals of mine right behind the camera there that I see every day when I'm sitting here working. So do something to continually remind yourself of those goals. So your goals need to be written down. They need to be specific. They need to be measurable. They need to be believable. So you believe with work you can hit it, but not so easy that it's going to be a cakewalk. Give yourself a deadline. Reassess your goals on a regular basis. Be honest with yourself and tell other people what your goals are. And you're much, much, much more likely to hit those goals. So this is Nick Sifoni at realestateinvestoronline.com. If you're not a member, make sure you go to the website, and on the right side of our website, just put your name and email in there, and it'll send you right to a page with a whole bunch of goodies, probably 6-7 hours of free training. And I don't even remember what's there, but there's 6-7 hours of free real estate training there. Just put in your name and email and you become a free member. Anyway, make sure that you set your goals for this year and do this. Set your goals for this year, then send me an email with your goals. And January of next year, I'll send you an email back asking you how you did. And I'll even send you some reminders through the year, you know, to remind you of your goals and to see how you're doing and to help you get on track. And I'll do that just for kicks. So, Nick Sifoni, this is the Flip and Right Show, realestateinvestoronline.com. Thanks so much for watching. Set your goals. What do we used to say? Plan your work and earn your plan. Make yourself $100 grand. Now go get them.